You're probably saying, oh no, not another smoked cream cheese video, but you're wrong. Today, I'm gonna share with you two of my favorite Gucci smoked cream cheese recipes that will not disappoint you or your guests. So stick around, see what it's all about. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Andrew, and welcome to Anderson's Smoke Show. I'm all about taking things to the next level, and that's what I'm gonna be doing today with this smoked cream cheese. I made these recipes last weekend for a birthday party, and they were knockdown, drag out, TKO. I'm telling you, these are awesome. So we're gonna get started with them. What makes these special? And sorry to everyone who's done the smoked cream cheese. Yeah, I'm gonna score them. Yeah, I'm gonna rub them with some of my favorite barbecue rubs, but I'm gonna top these off with something that you haven't seen yet. So today, I'm going to be making a smoked bacon-wrapped jalapeno popper smoked cream cheese and a dessert cream cheese that I like to call my smoked s'mores cream cheese. And they, at this party I was at last weekend, were killer. So I wanna share that with you today. So let's get started with them. All right, so I'm gonna be making two of each today, so we're just gonna focus on one of each for you guys. Don't wanna waste any of your time. So I'm gonna start with the s'mores because there's really not a lot of prep right now. So I'm gonna use one of my favorite rubs, and that is the Honey Hog Barbecue by Meat Church, and that's what I'm gonna use as my base. So I'm gonna go through, and I'm just gonna pick up these here. And I'm gonna season them. It's a little windy today, so I gotta be careful with it here. And I'm gonna coat them nice and thick, so I'm gonna go back around again and take the back side of my hand in here to pat that in a little bit. I'm gonna put a little bit more here. And what I did is I pre-cut some foil, and what I'm gonna do here, a little bit of cooking spray just so it doesn't stick. And I'm gonna set that right there, and I got my knife here, and I'm just gonna score this cream cheese a little bit. I'm gonna keep these on this side away from the jalapenos. That way we know which one's which. Now I'm gonna work on the bacon wrapped jalapeno popper cream cheese dip. So for that, you wanna pick a little more heat. So I'm going with the Honey Hog Hot Barbecue with this one. And we're gonna do the exact same thing here. So I'm gonna pick up this cream cheese. Get that on nice and thick there. I'm gonna pat that into the cream cheese. And we're just gonna make our way around. Another piece of foil there. We'll hit it a little bit with that cooking spray just so it doesn't stick. We'll set that back down and we'll score this one. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up these other ones. I'll catch up with you at the grill. When it comes to lighting the Char-Griller Grand Champ, it's all about how you start. We want a good base of charcoal. So I've got some Jealous Devil lump in there. I've got an oil-soaked paper towel, and I got a piece of fire starter here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this lit. I want these coals to be hot and starting to ash, and we'll talk about that as we get closer. But it's all about that initial base of charcoal, that bed of charcoal, and that's gonna help you be successful with this offset. So first things first, I'm actually gonna open the door here, the access door. What that's gonna do is give us a lot of airflow. It's gonna help get this charcoal lit a little bit faster. I'm gonna take my fire starter here and my oil-soaked paper towel, and I'm gonna set the chimney starter here right on top of those. I've got my butane torch. I'm just gonna go from underneath there and get that lit. All right, so you can see that these coals are glowing. They are good and hot. You can see they're starting to ash around the edges. It's time to dump these. What you need to do is get your basket here. This helps keep them kind of condensed in an area. So as I pull this out, You want to do so carefully because it's likely hot. You take that, you just dump your coals right down in there. I like to keep them kind of off. There you go. So you can see there, they are looking good and hot, nice hot fire. I'm gonna get this closed. I'm gonna talk about the dampers. Now the key to controlling a fire in an offset is all about air control. Obviously coals and wood and everything makes the fire, but air is what fuels it. And so you might be able to see it, you might not. I actually ran some tests for 2 straight days running this thing. And I scribed a couple lines in there. I marked a 200, a 225, and a 250. And really what I'm doing here is giving myself a starting point. So I know just about where I need to be in order to get that temperature. So right now I have it right around the 225 degree area. As you can see, it's really not open that much. You can see right where the chimney and the adjustable damper are. I marked it, and this is where the two meet. I run a lot of things at 225 degrees, so I wanted to have a good starting point. Now I try not to adjust this that much, and I do mostly one vent at a time, and I do it mostly on that firebox. Now one of the other keys is using thermometers. So I have 2 probes. I've got one over here on the left, and I got one about equally spaced on the right. And I'm gonna be watching that temperature. For this cook, I'm looking to stay within about 210 to about 235 degrees. I don't wanna get anywhere close to the 250, and I wanna stay above 200. So I'm gonna be monitoring the left and the right. Now, the right is typically gonna be hotter because it's closest to the firebox, but if you're doing well with air and you're doing well managing the coals, you'll actually see these numbers a lot closer than you would imagine. Now, another question you might be asking is how far in advance are you starting this? I'm gonna start this close to about an hour ahead of time because when it comes to managing a fire, it's all about stabilizing it. Initially, when you first dump it, when you first light it, you're gonna have a really hot fire, but then by adjusting the air intake and exhaust, that's where you're gonna get into stabilizing the temperatures. So for the next probably 30 minutes or so, I'm gonna monitor the temperature. I want this thing, like I said, to fluctuate between about 210 to about 235 degrees. And I'm just gonna try my best to keep it in there. Now I will be adding some wood, some cherry wood to this cook, and anytime you add fuel, you are going to see a spike. So just keep that in mind. Try and keep the lid closed as much as you can, because anytime you introduce airflow, anytime you change it, it's going to cause some fluctuations. That's one of the keys to this. Leave the lid closed, check it only when you need to. Don't do it just for your own personal gratification. Use the temperature probes, use a product like the ThermoWorks Signals. I'll put a link down in the description. That's going to give you the best idea of what's going on inside. You don't need to visually see it. All right, so the key to this, use yourself a wire rack. It makes transport so much easier. We're over here at the Char-Griller Grand Champ. I got this thing running about 225 degrees with some cherry hardwood in there for some good sweet smoke. We're gonna place this right down in the center. I'm running 2 temperature probes in here for the grates so that we can monitor the temperature to the left and the right. We're going 2 hours. We're not gonna touch this. I got the peppers split, deveined and deseeded, and I'm actually gonna line the grill up with bacon for those bacon wrapped jalapeno cream cheese. We'll check in, I don't know, maybe an hour, hour and a half when it's getting close to done. But basically, you just let this thing go. 2 hours, don't go upwards of 245, 250, because then you're gonna start to melt that cream cheese. It's the last thing that you wanna do. For the bacon, I'm using almost a pound of bacon per block of cream cheese. I know that sounds like a lot, but wait until you see it. I told you it was Gucci. Now with this, I don't want it super, super crispy. I want to catch it right in between that chewy to crispy phase, just as it's starting to crisp and firm up. And so I'm gonna line this around the grill. I'll keep an eye on that. And as soon as it's done is when I'm gonna pull that and the peppers, get them all chopped up. But we'll hurry up and open this up and just start lining the grill with bacon. Now the only thing I don't wanna do is put bacon above the cream cheese. I don't really wanna get that extra fat associated with the cream cheese. But we're gonna put it everywhere else that we possibly can. If you've never had smoked bacon, like twice smoked, I guess you could say, some good stuff. All right, so we're about the last 10 minutes of the 2 hours. I'm gonna show you this cream cheese here. You could see it's spread open. It is looking great. Now, I've been using the firebox here to heat up my chopped up bacon and jalapeno peppers. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to pack this as tall and high as I possibly can on these two here. It's soft, so I'm gonna push down into it just so I can kind of pack even more in on top. Throw the leftovers on the foil here so nothing really goes to waste there. All right, we'll get this pan out of the way. Now for the s'mores. You want to take a Hershey's chocolate bar. You want to take that whole bar. We're going to set that right on top of the cream cheese here. And we want to let this go for just a few minutes, basically until that Hershey bar is getting soft. And then we got one extra special step for you. There you go. Place that one there. We're going to get this lid closed and let those bars melt. So the chocolate is starting to melt. It's perfect time to add some marshmallow fluff. So I'm gonna get in here and take the biggest heaping scoop that I possibly can. We're gonna get that right down on top of that cream cheese. And honestly, I'm looking to use about a jar per bar of cream cheese here. Move on to the one in the back here. See that chocolate's melting nicely. Get the rest of this marshmallow off here. Take your torch. We're gonna toast it. Honestly, these are ready to come out. All right, so my Gucci smoked cream cheeses are done and it's ready to give them a try. Now I've already had these and I know they're delicious, but I gotta try them for you. So with the bacon jalapeno popper smoked cream cheese, we're gonna pair these up with some original club crackers. And they're great, you know, for at a party because you can just dig right in there. You wanna get yourself some cream cheese, some jalapeno, some bacon. Give it a try. Absolutely perfect. Going through and smoking the bacon and smoking the jalapeno peppers really adds an extra special step to this because you get that extra flavor and that extra smokiness. That's really good. Now for my smoked s'mores, use a graham cracker. It's perfect because that completes the s'mores. So you just get in there, you've got cream cheese, you've got chocolate, you've got marshmallow sauce. Now that's some good shit. And if you like good shit, then follow along next time with Anderson Smoke Show because we'll be bringing you recipes and tips and tricks all year long. I'll see you then.